19 features Minecraft needs in a Redstone update. Even though Redstone is one of the pillars of Minecraft, it hasn't received a major update since 1.5, so I think we're due for a new one. And if we get it, here are some of the features that could be total game changers for the community. And hey, Mr. YouTube bets me that you can't subscribe to the channel before I fall into lava, so to prove them wrong, cool off that red sub button down below. It's free, and it helps out a ton. Number 1. Let's face it, it's not a treat to hold down the right click button. So, since Minecraft has plenty of ways to automatically break blocks, I think it's only fair to add in some way to automatically place them as well. And from where I'm standing, dispensers seem to be the obvious candidate here. And honestly, they already share a lot of that functionality as is, being able to shear sheep, bone meal crops, and even place pumpkins through the snow golem trick. And then secondly, we'd still have droppers to fall back on for the ground that we'd lose here. If you want a block placed, you'll use a dispenser. But if not, droppers do the regular function. And really, if we can already place squashes with the thing, then why not open up the rest? Number 2. Every Redstone YouTuber's complained about this, but for good reason. You see, it doesn't make a lot of sense that tile entities like chests and hoppers can be moved in Bedrock Edition, but not in Java. And unless the way that they're coded in makes them so much heavier in this version, it just seems like an oversight. It only takes one look over at the carpet mod to see just how cool this could be in action. For one example, it'd be a lot easier to hide your valuables if you could physically move the valuables to a different location. Really, the community's already figured out plenty of cool integrations for this, and that's all just been with the one version, so imagine what we could do if both of them were up to speed. Number 3. In 2020, Minecraft was rocked with a huge graphical overhaul, or at least the Windows 10 version was. Don't get me wrong, the NVIDIA ray tracing feature was a big deal, but it's a far cry from being universal. So in that case, why don't we try to get some of its other ideas into the different versions? Namely, add in some kind of colored light system, hopefully through redstone lamps. Now, adding a whole color spectrum to Minecraft would definitely require a rework of the current engine, but just tell me it doesn't sound cool to make a disco floor like this instead of this. So is it a likely update? Probably not anytime soon. But with all of the new possibilities that could be opened up, it'd be too good to pass up on. Number 4. Now obviously, being able to move droppers and dispensers with pistons would be a dream scenario. But if that's not happening anytime soon, then another cool tie-in could be to add in dispenser minecarts. Maybe implemented in a way where you not only choose which way the dispenser faces, but also choose when it fires through an activator rail. That way, instead of using multiple dispensers to bone meal your crops, it would just cost 5 iron to boil it down. Or hey, maybe this could even allow for a mobile defense system to go around your base. And trust me, give this idea to the community for a day and we'll see a bunch of new mob farms come out of it. Number 5. Hoppers are a key part of any Redstone user's toolkit, but while they're great for moving things down and to the side, sending stuff up a level isn't as easy. As it is, this happens by having your items get funneled down into a hopper and then have them sent via dropper into a bubble elevator or something like that, which honestly seems overkill. All I wanted to do was just send the items up a block or two and now I gotta build this whole mess. So in that case, why not have an inverse hopper alternative? This thing would work as a vacuum of sorts, only taking things out of your chest when powered on. That way, you don't need a whole dropper system to get the items up a step. Number 6. Ask anyone in the spawn proofing business. Light levels are a touchy subject. After all, it's a delicate balance trying to upkeep a moody, broody atmosphere, all without keeping mobs in your base. So, in the interest of that precision, what if different redstone signal strengths gave off different light levels? It does make sense. Not only would a weaker signal obviously give off a dimmer output, but there's also 15 levels of both light and redstone signal strength. And folks, that correlation is just too good to pass up on. Number 7. Among the 1.16 update's vast amount of features, we got something we haven't seen in a while. A new button. I know, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but the last time that we got a new button type was back in the so-called pretty scary update of 2012. And though it's been a long time coming, Blackstone buttons had the opportunity, but in many ways, dropped the ball. You see, unlike the other two, this doesn't give out a different pulse length, making it basically useless to Redstone. So if we do get a Redstone update, let's fix this and then some. Give Blackstone buttons their own purpose, and why not also add in uniquely functioning iron gold variants as well. Number 8. Making a machine compact is definitely a huge thing to consider. And with that said, slime blocks, as great as they are, mess with that plan. Since all sides of the block are sticky, solutions here often have to be bigger to compensate. So why not just add some way around this? Now, the simplest solution would just be allowing us to make certain sides of the block non-stick as needed. Then why not look towards Nembon's suggested chainstone? Here, only the ends would stick, so any other blocks that go nearby the sides, they'd get away scot-free, all without making the machines huge in the process. Number 9. If you've ever messed around with the technical side of Minecraft, then you know we're always champing at the bit for more automation. After all, while it is great to build a high-efficiency iron farm, wouldn't it be even better to condense your profits down into blocks instead of ingots? Well, for that reason, auto-crafting has become a much sought-after feature to those communities. And look, I know there are people who are totally against this feature, but that said, Carpet Mod's interpretation definitely seems on the right track. Just pump the recipe into the crafting crafting table, flick the switch, and reap the rewards. Number 10. Automation has been a staple in crop farming for a long time. But while villager-powered farms are a huge benefit, they're not all powerful. Namely, villagers aren't that interested in every crop, meaning you're out of luck for your nether wart and chorus fruit endeavors. If that's the case, then I think it might be worth subbing in our old pal, the dispenser. When you give this block the proper conditions, then you could have it automatically plant crops. That way, we could bring every crop into the industrial age, not just the villagers' favorites. Number 11. Redstone circuits aren't always the most straightforward. Take this delay circuit. As it is, you currently need 2 comparators and a handful of redstone to make this, meaning that even making the most basic one possible, it's still going to take up a 2x3x1 area. So, for the interest of space, why not make one single block or component that could be capable of doing this entire pulse extender circuit? That way, we could free up a lot of room in popular redstone designs and save the newcomers from the trouble of remembering it. Number 12. When droppers were added into the game, the dispenser, in many ways, got replaced. But since the dispenser already does so many right-click functions, why not commit and make that its entire selling point? In that case, it could be cool that since we're able to shear sheep using dispensers, why not let us feed them too? That way, we wouldn't have to add all these awkward pop-up circuits to our cow farms, but instead, it would just handle it out of reach. Which is nice, because I'm not looking for any more errands on my to-do list, and I doubt that you are either. Number 13. Minecraft isn't always one for logic, but weirder still is when the game isn't even consistent on its own terms. Like, take a look at these 2 situations that we've laid out involving pistons and redstone, and then tell me this: why does the one on the left not work, but the one on the right does? And while there could be benefits in fixing this just for condensing redstone circuits, I think this speaks to a much bigger issue. Clearly, redstone isn't always the most intuitive, so when you got weird inconsistencies like this, that makes it all the tougher for newcomers to grasp. Number 14. When you move something with a piston, then it's a toss of a coin to see if it's gonna work or not. Case in point, let's look at fences. Now normally, we can move these just fine, but throw a lead on top, and now we can still move them, but just not with the lead, which shuts down the potential of some pretty cool machines before they even get started. Look, unlike Bedrock Edition, Java can't tie leads between 2 different fences, so at the very least, why not give the rest of us some love and at least keep the things from breaking all the time? Number 15. In a lot of ways, redstone is the electric cabling of the Minecraft world, but one unfortunate difference that's plagued the game since the beginning is that there's no good way to wire redstone on walls. And folks, it only takes one look at mods like Red Power to see just how cool this could be. I mean, you want to talk about compacting a redstone build, this would do wonders for that possibility. And maybe it's just me, but I also think laying out the cabling on the wall just looks really nice. Number 16. The new Skulk sensor is set to offer a bunch of different changes to redstone. And after getting a look at how they interpret and categorize different vibrations in redstone signals, it begs the question, what if there was a way to do this visually? And I'm not exactly talking about an observer, but rather a different block that could detect and categorize different block types. So when you put a container in front of it, whether it's a chest or a barrel, it recognizes such. And then, instead of item sorters, we could really get fancy and have full-on block sorting systems. Number 17. Everyone knows you can't predict the weather, but if that's the case, wouldn't it be nice to know when it changes just as soon as possible? And that's where the idea of a weather sensor comes in. Like, maybe you don't want to know just when it's raining, but specifically when a thunderstorm is underway. And then you can get your villagers under a roof before they turn into witches. And I should note that there even are some ways to detect if it's raining or not in the current vanilla, but they're quite a hassle. And really, if the weather's already going to be out of left field, it'd be nice to know we could have something to count on for a change. Number 18. For many things in Redstone, orientation is everything, which, if that's the case, it seems weird that there's no way to change their orientation with Redstone. So to clarify, some kind of block rotator system could open up a bunch of new possibilities, just by reversing the old ones. For a simple case, if you got a repeater extending a signal for one circuit, then spin it around and it can do a whole nother job, which that could be cool, but I definitely think this is most applicable with hoppers. Your items could be funneled seamlessly between an input and an output chest, all without doubling the amount of work that's needed. Number 19. Cauldrons are a weirdly coded block in Minecraft, but despite that, there did seem to be some glimmer of hope in the new 1.17 update. You see, with the addition of dripstone, we can throw these cauldrons into the mix and make fully renewable lava farms, but it's missing something. Dispensers are not capable of filling or emptying cauldrons of liquid, which is a shame, because if they could, then we could pipe the newfound lava out of that machine into our buckets and make the farm completely automatic. So Mojang, all I ask is to bring this block up to speed and give it some glory in 1.17. And with that, folks, flick the switch on that sub button down below, and have a good one, alright?